D2 Word Life here with Rip. We need more violence tides.
We need more violence?
And yes, thanks to you, that phrase was stuck in my head all night, but that's for a different reason totally. Other than what we're doing right now, which is reviewing the 2024 Bad Blood event, pay-per-view event, or PLE that just happened. Well, a day ago at time of recording, and it took place on October 5th, 2024. In Atlanta, Georgia, at the State Farm Arena, with an attendance of 16,092 fans. And the brands that were represented here were both Raw and SmackDown. I don't even know why they still have the brand split. Both brands just appear at these shows anyway.
Yeah.
And the commentators for this event was Michael Cole and Corey Graves. And the hosts for this event were Naomi and the Women's Tag Team Champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. They only probably got that gig just for something to do to get them on the show.
Yeah.
And anyway, they start off the show with the opening hype package promoting this event and hyping the matches on the show. And what makes this more historic is this was the first Bad Blood event in 20 years. The last one being held in 2004.
Yep.
And we kick off the show proper. Now, at the previous 3 Bad Blood events, the Hell in a Cell match usually ended the show with the main event. No, this year the Hell in a Cell match was the opening match on the card, pitting Drew McIntyre against CM Punk, and those two have been in this blood feud ever since January's Royal Rumble event when McIntyre injured Punk in the match. And then it drug all the way to WrestleMania, where Punk cost McIntyre the World Championship after he cashed in.
Well, it happened last year when he reappeared last year, Survivor Series.
Yes, and to correct myself, McIntyre did not cash in at WrestleMania. He actually beat Seth Rollins in a one-on-one match to win the title, only for Punk to attack him after the match.
Yep.
Thus making McIntyre lose to Damian Priest at the time, who cashed in at WrestleMania. And then we fast forward to the rivalry that went all the way to Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view or premium live event, which McIntyre won the briefcase and attempted to cash in, only for Punk to stop him from winning. And then you had that world title match between McIntyre and Damian Priest over at Clash of the Castle, which Punk once again screwed McIntyre out of, fueling more fuel to the fire.
Yep.
And then these two had a couple of one-on-one matches on pay-per-view, with McIntyre winning at SummerSlam and Punk winning at Bash at Berlin in that strap match. So this was the rubber match to end the feud and see who wins the trilogy of matches between these two.
And his curse still continues. He has never won a match in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, and this was CM Punk's first Hell in a Cell match since 2012.
5th.
Well, it was his first Hell in a Cell match since 2012. His 5th overall.
2013.
Or 2012, 2013. Well, whatever. It was a long time ago. And they had no problem.
It was his 5th Hell in a Cell since his departure in 2013.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, and they made a point that, last time CM Punk was in Hell in a Cell, he defeated Ryback. And I'm just like, yeah, that's another jab at Ryback. I wonder what he's up to these days. Oh, yeah, that's right, bashing the company online.
Yeah, he's blacklisted. He can't come back because of what he's saying.
Exactly.
And then he's saying that Triple H and former Divas champion Caitlyn had a thing.
Which, he's just making up shit and reaching at this point.
Yeah.
So for any of you fans of Ryback who would want to see him return or want to see him get put in the Hall of Fame, good luck with that wait, because that ain't going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, no, that ain't happening.
Exactly. But yeah, the show kicked off proper with Drew McIntyre facing CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell match.
If he would have kept his mouth shut and just been a good little boy, he would have been able to come back.
Yep. The match started.
And then he could have been saying shit.
Yep. Anyway, the match started between Punk and McIntyre cell match. The match started with those two intently staring each other down within the first, moments after the bell rang. Followed by both of them just starting to kick and punch each other, with McIntyre getting the upper hand in the corner, with punches and kicks in the corner to Punk, and Punk reversed it with punches of his own in the corner, back and forth in the corner.
Yeah.
This match was defined by hatred, and that was a good way to start off. Yeah, then McIntyre eventually got the upper hand with a chop and a punch in the corner, following by tossing Punk to the outside of the ring into the perimeter of the cell structure. Right.
Yep.
And then and at first McIntyre freaking tried to ram Punk into the Hell in a Cell structure, and then Punk reversed it by trying to do one of his own to McIntyre also. But then McIntyre did fight back and tried to whip CM Punk into the side of the cell structure, only for Punk to reverse it, and McIntyre went crashing into the side of steel of the cell structure itself.
Yep.
Yeah, then McIntyre went to whip Punk back into the side. Yeah, you got that, and then we got that. We just talked about it. So yeah, McIntyre ate shit on the side of the cell by crashing into it, like we said, and then McIntyre then hit Punk in the back with a steel chair on the outside, followed by McIntyre ramming Punk into the steel steps as well.
Yep.
After countering, and this happened after he countered some offense Punk was doing.
Yep.
Yeah, but then Punk managed to battle back, and Punk ended up using a wrench and dug it into the forehead of McIntyre on the outside, and McIntyre was one who pulled the wrench out of the toolbox to begin with before the spot, with intention to use it on Punk's head.
Yep.
Which, that was pretty disturbing.
Well, at least they didn't stop it this time.
Yeah, then Punk ended up taking a table out from under the ring and placing it into the ring, and he kind of had it. He didn't have the table propped up. He had it sitting on its. He had the table sitting upright on its side, and then Punk was going to do something for McIntyre, or came charging at McIntyre, only for McIntyre to get Punk with a drop toe hold. Punk used a drop toe hold on McIntyre, who was going towards him, and McIntyre landed throat first onto the side of the table. And excuse me, I think McIntyre was the one who introduced the table in the ring.
Well, McIntyre set up the table outside the ring.
Yep. And then after McIntyre landed throat first onto the side of the table, Punk actually pulled the table leg off of the table to chug McIntyre with it.
Yep.
Well, then again, I gotta give him McIntyre who ripped the table leg off. But either way, McIntyre ended up getting choked by it.
Well, McIntyre introduced the table leg, and then CM Punk took it.
Yeah, so McIntyre was the one who ripped the table leg off. I mean, there's so many spots on here. It was just kind of hard to keep track of the little details like that. And then on the outside, and then when Punk was building up momentum, both found their way on the outside of the ring, and McIntyre was able to hit a Claymore kick on Punk on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then shortly afterwards, McIntyre threw Punk face first into the side of the cell, busting Punk open. Yep, there was some blood in this match, and a lot of it.
Yep.
And that was just the first casualty. Was Punk busted open.
Well, at least they gave referees towels to wipe off the faces of the superstars so they could actually see without having to stop the damn match like they did in 2019.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit. You never stop a Hell in a Cell.
You never stop a Hell in a Cell? Tell that to... Yeah, I was about to say, tell that to Rollins and the late Bray Wyatt. Actually, no, tell that to the referee who stopped that match. That's what we're getting at, too. If you ever make me review that event, I'm going to have fun tearing that match apart, despite who's in it.
That was crap.
Yeah, that match from 2019 is probably one of the rare times I'd give a Hell in a Cell match an F, or a 0 out of 5, but we're not talking about that event right now.
I'm just saying that I was glad that they gave them towels so they could wipe off the blood off the superstars.
Yeah. But then shortly after that, McIntyre hit Punk in the head with the steel steps. Afterwards, trying to bust Punk open even more. Right?
Yep.
And then back in the ring, McIntyre decided to play mind games with CM Punk and try to get in Punk's head saying his wife will leave him, taunting Punk, yeah.
Boys, like, if I beat you, your wife is going to leave you. Because everyone was trying to persuade him, his wife, his friends, his wife's family, his family, everyone was trying to persuade Punk from going into a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, and then shortly afterwards, McIntyre took the wrench and dug it into Punk's forehead, giving us that disturbing image once again. Yeah, but then Punk managed to fight back, putting McIntyre into the corner, and Punk was able to hit McIntyre with a running knee, his signature running knee.
Yep.
And then when McIntyre was down, or when McIntyre was like on his feet, Punk hit him with a double fist drop from the top rope. By the way, I was using freaking text-to-speech for these damn notes after every big spot, and for some reason it auto-corrected to double fist drop.
He double-fisted?
No, my freaking text-to-speech thought I said double fish drop.
He double-fished?
He double fish-sticked him.
What are you using talk to speak?
Well, I ain't gonna fucking type out every single detail and miss some parts that happen immediately after what I'm typing.
That's called pause. Okay. Start. Okay.
Yeah, but that would take longer to watch these 3-hour shows. So, that's why I use that. Texas. Sometimes it gives us funny shit like that. But yeah, after the double fist drop from the top rope, Punk tried to hit McIntyre in the head with a wrench off the top rope as well, only for McIntyre to counter into a belly-to-belly suplex.
Yep.
Oh, a belly-to-belly suplex gives you flashbacks to a review we did recently? Oh, by the way, that said performer who performed all those belly-to-belly suplexes was actually in the audience for this show.
Yes, Rick. Scott Steiner.
And yeah, and you know what's ironic? I know I'm skipping ahead, but they showed Scott Steiner in the audience right after Triple H gave his big announcement. And all I can think back was God damn it, those Royal Rumble and No Way Out matches suck so bad that we already reviewed. Thank God we don't have to do that again.
And then we'll find out, there was another match that they were in.
I'd be like, you can review that yourself. I'm not going to.
Yeah, like, hey, Dustin, we have another review.
Oh, we're just taking the piss now. Anyway, after the belly-to-belly suplexes, Punk found himself on the outside of the ring, and Punk did manage to fight back when he hit McIntyre in the head with that toolbox, busting McIntyre wide open.
Yeah.
And yeah, McIntyre bled profusely, he got the crimson mask right away, worse than Punk's cut.
Yeah, the referee had to wipe away the blood with the towel that he had.
And that really didn't do much good because a short period after that, McIntyre's face was once again covered in blood. Right?
Yeah, but it wiped away enough where they could see.
Exactly. I'm just like, damn, this is something that we haven't been used to in a long ass time.
It is.
Yeah, and then Punk got back in the ring and he hit McIntyre again in the head with a toolbox, thus causing more damage to that open wound.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Punk went to the top rope with the toolbox still in hand, and he hit friggin' McIntyre in the head with the toolbox off the top rope. Also, and I'm just like, damn.
That toolbox was getting a lot of action.
And I'm like, damn. And I was like, at this point, I'm thinking, oh my God, yeah, too much head trauma. Okay, I know they probably didn't really hit him in the head that hard with it, but obviously, because if you legit hit someone as hard as you can with a metal toolbox, that'd probably be enough to knock them out or concuss them. Obviously. Am I right? But but the way it looked kind of made it look freaking intense.
Yeah.
And then with McIntyre in the corner, CM Punk was able to hit him with 3 running knees, followed by a bulldog. And then afterwards, CM Punk attempted to go for a GTS, only for McIntyre to reverse it into probably, I believe, his Future Shock DDT, and then Punk reversing into the GTA anyway. GTS anyway, only for McIntyre to go to the outside. Saving himself.
They reversed it. Then went into the freaking Future Shock.
Yep.
CM Punk reversed that into the GTS, which he hit, and then
McIntyre went to the outside. His body
McIntyre rolled to the outside,
preventing him from being pinned after that.
Yes.
Yeah, but then after Punk was able to get McIntyre back into the ring to try to pin him, McIntyre sprung back to life and actually hit Punk with a Claymore kick for a 2 count.
Yep.
And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this is too hard to tell. Both men are exhausted. I like the story they're telling with all the violence here. And to me, it was just too close to call.
I crave sustenance.
Yeah, but then at this point, after the second Claymore kick, which the second one overall, but the first one he hit in the ring, friggin' Drew McIntyre went for a second Claymore kick in the ring, but that was reversed by Punk into a sharpshooter.
Yep.
And while on the McIntyre was locked in the sharpshooter, but he was able to get out of it by hitting Punk in the back with a wrench.
Yep.
Once again, and McIntyre was like, I'm going to go fix some shit. And then after that, McIntyre followed up by digging the wrench into Punk's head. Like a lot of cringe actions like that in this match, yeah.
Yeah.
But then shortly after that, both men exhausted, got into a slugfest back and forth with neither of them backing down or getting the upper hand.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that ended with McIntyre trying to do a Future Shock DDT, but once again, Punk reversed it into a GTS attempt, which McIntyre reversed into chops to end with Punk, and it all ended with Punk kicking McIntyre in the head.
Yeah.
You know, the famous, signature kick move that Punk does. That's what I'm talking about. Or side kick, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and then McIntyre was on the apron, and Punk was able to hit the running knee onto McIntyre from the apron.
Yep.
But then, like, Punk went up to the top rope, and then McIntyre ended up going up there too. And both men were fighting on the top turnbuckle or on the apron. Well, I think Punk was on the turnbuckle. McIntyre was on the apron. But McIntyre was able to get the upper hand and suplex Punk and himself to the table that was at ringside.
Yep.
And at this point, both men were down. Both men were out. But, you know, obviously the match is going to continue because no one wants a bullshit finish.
Yep.
And then McIntyre was all hurt. He was getting back up, and he picked up the bottom half of the steel stairs, and he was struggling to get that into the ring. But he eventually did.
Yep.
And back in the ring, Punk managed to fight back and actually hit a GTS on the McIntyre for a 2 count. Right?
Yep.
But then McIntyre then fought back and actually hit a white noise onto Punk onto the steel steps for a 2 count as well. So both men ain't holding back here.
Yep.
And then Punk managed to battle back on the McIntyre by locking in the Anaconda Vice. And with the Anaconda Vice still locked in, Punk hit McIntyre in the head with a damn wrench again. Probably trying to use it to fix the hole in McIntyre's head. That or make it worse. Am I right?
Yeah.
But then after freaking Punk let go of the submission hold, he tried to pick McIntyre up, probably to do a GTS again or whatever he had planned, but it doesn't matter because McIntyre ended up being a dick to CM's Punks with a low blow.
Yeah.
Putting Punk down. Yeah, then McIntyre then went onto the outside of the ring and pulled out a friggin' black bag that was underneath the ring, right?
Yeah.
And he got back into the ring with it. And when we seen the bag, we all think either broken glass, thumbtacks. You know, what could it be? But then McIntyre pretty much did a big fuck you to CM Punk when he freaking dumped the bag's contents on the CM Punk's head and it ended up being broken beads.
Yep.
You know, pretty much the symbol of what CM Punk's freaking breeded bracelet was.
Yeah, and do you want to know who produced that said event?
What?
The Monster Abyss, Joseph Park.
Yeah.
Or as we know him as the Abyss.
Yes. Yeah, and then right after that, McIntyre went for the Claymore kick, only for Punk to get out of the way, sending McIntyre crashing into the steel steps ass first. And that fall looked nasty, by the way.
It looked like he was serving his ass up.
Yes. Yeah, and then CM Punk then took a steel chain and wrapped it around his freaking knee and was able to hit a GTA on McIntyre, with McIntyre landing face first on the chain, wrapped around Punk's knee to win the match.
First of all, you forgot something.
What?
When he was wrapping the chain up, he picks up the fucking beads and then literally slaps him with the fucking beads in his hand.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Freaking when Punk was in the middle of wrapping the steel chain around his knee, he actually picked up some beads and stuffed it down McIntyre's throat. Yes. You know the same thing that McIntyre did to him after, on the SmackDown following the Bash of Berlin. And then freaking CM Punk hit the GTS on McIntyre, who landed face first on that chain that CM Punk had wrapped around his knee, and then Punk got the 3 count in the win, ending this violent Hell in a Cell match. Okay, now your thought.
All produced by the Abyss.
Yep. And what was your thoughts on this Hell in a Cell opener between McIntyre and Punk?
It was violent. I craved the sustenance.
Okay, here we go again. And I'm like, this was a great way to open the show. Now all the other matches can't even follow this. That's why this should have been the main event instead of the opener, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, you know, I understand why this was the opener, because, you know, they wanted Roman Reigns in the main event.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, the only thing I would have done differently with this card is put Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes' tag match in the semi-main and this Hell in a Cell opener to the main event spot. That'd be the only things I would change.
Or made this the semi-main and then did the main event with them that way.
Oh yeah, that could be a possibility too. I mean, but the opener, no other match on this card could freaking follow it.
And they also had ambulances on standby for Punk and McIntyre.
Yeah, we should talk about that too, because after the match, Punk was trying to leave, but he kind of collapsed, and he actually had to be on oxygen for a little bit just to get his strength back up to leave.
Well, that's because Punk never figured he'd be in a Hell in a Cell match at this late in his career.
Yeah, but still, to me, this was the best match on the card, obviously. But we'll get to the match ratings at the end.
Remember, the Hell in a Cell was the devil's favorite playground. It takes a fucking toll on your soul.
Yep.
It's literally the Undertaker's bread and butter.
I mean, the Undertaker, I believe, has been in more Hell in a Cell matches than anyone else, with Triple H being second place.
Yes.
For most Hell in a Cell appearances. But, you know, now that both are retired, I bet both of them are like, thank God I don't have to do that ever again. Am I right?
Yeah.
But anyway, before the next match, we go up to the skybox where Naomi, Cargill, and Belair were talking about the guests that they had up there with their big, with their big skybox party, watching the show and all that.
DDP, Mickey James.
It's like DDP was there, Mickey James was there, up in there. Along with some others that they mentioned, and even Naomi said, "Oh yeah, I'm pulling for my freaking homegirl Bailey to win the championship tonight at this show."
Yeah.
Which, we'll discuss in a minute, quite didn't come to fruition.
Yeah, Nia Jax set up like the fucking Undertaker.
Yeah. Anyway, that match happens next. It was Nia Jax defending the women's championship against Bailey in a SummerSlam rematch. Because if we remember, Nia Jax defeated Bailey at SummerSlam to win the women's championship to begin with.
And then last month when I went to go see SmackDown, they had basically a number one contenders match for anyone that had pinned
Jax.
Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, and both Bailey and Naomi pinned Nia, which made them for the following week, which would have been the Friday before. Yeah, Friday before this.
Yeah, which would have been.
They did another number one contenders match for it,
which Bailey won. But anyway, match started off with Jax overpowering freaking Bailey by hitting shoulder blocks into the corner on Bailey, followed by a hip toss and another big splash in the corner on Bailey.
Yep.
But then Bailey tried to fight back by attempting a clothesline on a Jax, followed by a 2 count early on.
Yep.
And then Bailey tried to freaking keep the momentum going, but Jax freaking overpowered her and splashed her again and splashed Bailey again in the corner, followed by a hip toss. Followed by a hip attack in the corner. You know, the Samoan hip attack they always do. We've seen plenty of those in this show, by the way. So, for anyone listening to this, just get used to the phrase hip attack in the corner, especially during that main event.
Yep.
And Jax then blocked Bailey into a bear hug, which Bailey got out of with a surprise roll-up for a 2 count.
Yep.
Yeah, but then Jax freaking battled back by putting Bailey into a half Boston Crab, which Bailey got to the ropes, or got out of. Yeah, and then freaking Bailey managed to fight back by dumping Jax to the outside, followed by a leg drop back out there. And then when Jax was trying to get back in the ring, Bailey then freaking performed a baseball slide to Jax on the outside, causing more damage, trying to keep the momentum.
Yep.
And back in the ring, Bailey went for a pinfall. After that, for a 2 count.
Yep.
And then Jax went back. And then Jax at some point was back on the outside of the ring, and then Bailey hit her with a suicide dive on the outside. But then Jax battled back in the ring with a headbutt to Bailey. Yeah, you know Samoans and their headbutts.
Yep.
Let me get this right. Like we discussed last night. If you headbutt a Samoan, they no-sell it like you playing 2K. And yes, I always have to make that joke. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then Jax hit Bailey with a big splash while Bailey was draped on the top turnbuckle, thus sending her down into another hip attack position. Sitting in the corner, which Jax hit onto Bailey afterwards. Yeah, but then Jax went to go do the whole 10 punches in the corner spot, which Bailey tried to reverse into a power bomb.
Which got reversed into a Hurricane Rana.
Which got reversed to a Hurricane Rana. Now I had Jax doing a Hurricane Rana. I thought I'd never see the day. Right?
Yeah, no, they had to replay that because they were fucking surprised too that Nia Jax fucking did a Hurricane Rana with how big she is.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh yeah, more power to her to pull that one off. Even if it was assisted by her being on the ropes. Still impressive to see someone that size do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jax freaking put Bailey in the corner to try to hip attack her once again, only for Bailey to move out of the way and hit a running knee onto Jax afterwards to try to get the momentum. Yeah, and then Bailey then hit a sunset flip onto Jax into the corner. Yeah. And then Bailey was doing everything she can, including hitting Jax with a flying elbow from the top rope for a 2 count.
Yep.
As a tribute to her childhood hero, Randy Savage. That's why she does that move. Yeah, but then on the outside, Jax went to try to go do an offensive move to Bailey to take control, only to go shoulder first into the steel steps. Yeah, then on the outside, Bailey hit Jax with another elbow drop onto the back and spine of the outside. Thus putting Jax temporarily out. Looked like we're going to have a count out, but that wasn't the case. Because you seen Bailey, she tried to lift Jax up to get her in the ring, but that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, then Bailey decided, I'm going to go for another freaking attack from the top rope. While Jax was just barely on her feet, only for Jax to reverse it with a freaking right hand. With a freaking right hand punch to the outside. Knocking Bailey down here. And then Jax freaking powerbombed Bailey onto the steel steps, followed by whipping Bailey into the barricade. Yeah, that looked nasty.
Yep.
And then back in the ring, Nia Jax managed to hit a Samoan drop on Bailey that looked botched. Considering Bailey had her legs around freaking Nia's head in the middle of the move like she was going to reverse it, but it really was a Samoan drop for Jax that landed.
It was a desperation Samoan drop.
Yeah, well, to me it looked botched. It could have been a desperation, like Bailey trying to desperately reverse it, but it didn't happen.
That's what they said on the show.
I mean, either way, it looked kind of botched, but not really. But that's just my opinion when I seen the move, okay? And at this, Bailey was up in the corner, but Jax accidentally hit the big splash on the referee. Right?
Well,
or was Bailey on the ground when that happened?
Bailey was down. Bailey kicked Nia in the head, and then she freaking fell on top of the referee.
Yeah. Inadvertently, so the referee was down at this point.
Yes. And then all you hear is Tiffy time!
Actually, no, before that, Bailey did manage to hit her Rose Plant finisher on Jax to go for a pin and possibly the win. But the referee was down, so obviously there was no 3 count made. And then, yeah, all of a sudden, your favorite woman, Tiffany Stratton, came out, and we all know how much you love Tiffy time.
I know you want to have Tiffy time.
And Tiffany Stratton came out and attacked Bailey with a briefcase and actually teased that she was going to cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase, yeah? Despite her agreement towards Nia Jax.
She just put the briefcase by the fucking try to get her up.
Yeah, but then Nia Jax saw that. Nia Jax saw this and thought, Stratton was going to cash in.
Getting up like the fucking Undertaker.
Yeah, after getting up like the Undertaker. Yeah, but then Jax was distracted. Bailey rolled her up for a 2 count because Jax checked out, but Tiffany Stratton once again distracted Bailey, who was on the top rope at this point, possibly trying to go for another elbow drop. And then Nia Jax got up there and draped Bailey onto her shoulders and hit a Super Samoan drop from the top rope.
Yeah, and then hit the bonsai drop, or
she
calls it the Annihilator.
And then Jackson hit the Annihilator on Bailey for a 3 count. And the winner and still women's champion, Nia Jax. Now, your thoughts on this match?
It was okay. It needed more violence.
Yeah, you say it needed more violence, like, it's okay, it served its purpose. And it's like, the cash, or the making it look like Tiffany Stratton was going to cash in, kind of drove that wedge between Jax and Stratton also. With the whole paranoia angle. Eventually, I believe Stratton will cash in on Jax to take that championship, but that has yet to be determined. So the match that followed was a battle of the 2 former Judgment Day members, which was Damian Priest and World Tag Champion Finn Balor. And this rivalry has been going on since SummerSlam, when Balor turned his back on Damian Priest, costing him the World Championship to Gunther. Yep. And essentially kicked both, and the Judgment Day kicked both Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest out of the group. Yep. Which in turn led to that mixed tag match that happened at Bash at Berlin, and also led to this one-on-one match between Balor and Priest.
Well, it led to the impromptu tag team match with Jay and him, and then everything else.
Yeah. Anyway, to start this match off, Priest had a wrist lock on Balor, followed by a knockdown on the Balor himself. So in other words, Priest was in control early on.
Yep.
And Priest was also dominating with punches and kicks to the corner, in the corner to Finn. There's a lot of moves a lot of those spots, yeah.
Right. And what the fuck was Finn Balor wearing?
like wearing some kind of freaking, like, I don't know, some type of, like, hood or helmet on his freaking, for his entrance gear.
And what the fuck was up with his eye?
I don't know. Probably some weird ass look. I was asking myself that too, but I realize it's not really that important when it comes to this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then shortly after that, Damian Priest then whipped Finn Balor into the turnbuckle spine first, sending him down again. Finn Balor was pretty much getting dominated in the opening and pretty much within the first few minutes of this match.
Yeah, he got punched in the fucking jaw.
Yep. Then Finn managed to fight back and actually managed to hit a sling blade on the Priest on the outside.
Yep.
Yeah, and then back in the ring, Finn freaking laid some stomps on the Priest's chest. And then Finn decided, you know what would make this heated match more entertaining? A good old sleeper hold to Priest, which he probably did. And yes, I'm saying that to be sarcastic.
It's your favorite move, the sleeper hold. That never worked.
Yeah. But you know what does work? Shortly after, when Priest was down on the mat, Finn Balor decided to switch it from the sleeper hold to the most deadliest hold in wrestling, a chin lock. Which would make a certain UK YouTuber really happy to see. And then shortly after that, Finn Balor just turned it into a regular headlock. When Priest managed to get up on his feet. Which shortly afterwards, Priest reversed the headlock by ramming Finn into the turnbuckle, breaking the hold.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Damian Priest went for a splash attempt into the turnbuckle, which Finn reversed. Right?
Yeah.
And then Finn went for a flying attack from the top rope, only to be met with a punch to the face by Priest. Again, like we seen in the previous match, right?
Yes, I thought me and Michael Cole thought we saw teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, then Priest managed to fight back, and at one point he tried to Irish rip freaking Finn, but it got reversed into a side Russian leg sweep by Finn for a 2 count.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, freaking Finn Balor worked on Priest's ribs by freaking applying the abdominal stretch to Priest.
Yep. And when Priest got some momentum,
Yeah.
it never fails. The fucking Judgment Day show up.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to freaking get to that. It's like Priest was able to power out the abdominal stretch, and then Priest then freaking hit Balor or Finn with a series of right hands, and another knockdown to Finn as well. And then Priest did hit a Falcon Arrow onto Balor for a 2 count.
Yep.
And then Balor managed to battle back with a sling blade to Priest.
Sling break.
I can't fucking talk for shit today.
Get that dick out of your mouth. Get Dicky's dicky out of your mouth.
You can't tell me what to do. Wait, what?
Yeah.
But anyway, Priest hit a Falcon Arrow, and then, no. Balor hit a sling blade on the Priest, only for Priest to reverse the momentum with a punching kick followed by a clothesline for a 2 count.
Yep.
And after some back and forth punches and kicks back and forth, Balor was able to hit an overhead kick on the Priest.
Yep.
Yeah, and then at this point, while Priest was down, Finn decided to do a little bit of damage by hitting 2 stomps on Priest's chest. While he was down and out, had the momentum, but Balor shortly lost the momentum when Priest did battle back and was able to hit a razor's edge onto Balor for a 2 count.
He got fucking razor edge that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but then shortly afterwards, Finn found himself on the outside of the ring, near the announcer's table, which Priest then got out of the ring himself and got a full head of steam, ran at freaking Finn and pounced on him, sending Balor over the announcer's table.
Yep.
Yeah, and then shortly afterwards, Priest freaking took Finn and actually hit a razor's edge onto the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. So yeah, a lot of spine abuse for Finn Balor here.
Yeah.
And right when it looked like freaking Priest had everything, had all the momentum, like there was no doubt he was going to win, Carlito and JD McDumbass interfered, distracting Priest, allowing Finn to freaking get Priest down and actually hit his finisher, the coup de grace, for a 2 count.
Yep.
And then Finn actually got frustrated with this, and he attempted to use a steel chair, which, mind you, this is a regular match. It's not an ODQ match. But then Finn attempted to use a steel chair, only for Priest to hit a big boot on the Finn, sending the chair crashing into his face. So yeah, in other words, freaking Priest hit a big boot and actually hit the steel chair that Finn was holding.
Yeah.
Thus causing the steel chair to crash into Balor's face. And then shortly after this, Priest went for a South of Heaven chokeslam, only for Finn to reverse it by rolling him up for a 2 count.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Balor went up to the top rope, and at this point, Priest was trying to get back on his feet, and then Finn hit a coup de grace onto the back of Priest's head for another, and hit another one on Priest's back after that. And that still wasn't enough for a 3.
I think he hit him 4 or 5 times with the coup de grace.
Yeah. But then at one point near the end of the match, Balor went to the well one too many times because he tried to hit another coup de grace finisher on the Priest, but Priest actually reversed the attempt by grabbing freaking Finn Balor by the throat and actually hitting a South of Heaven chokeslam on the Finn for a 3 count. The winner, Damian Priest. Now, your thoughts on this matchup between the 2 former Judgment Day members?
It was good. It was predictable that Priest was going to win.
But hey, sometimes, even though it's predictable, if they put on a good match and make you actually believe that the winner may be going to another direction, then they did their job. To me, I felt like even though the outcome was predictable, it could have gone either way, especially with the interference. Right. But yeah, I thought the match was good. I thought the match was good overall. Obviously, it's not the match of the night. That's, in my opinion, that still goes to the Hell in a Cell opener, but it served its purpose. It was great. It was a good match for what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, and then after this match, we've seen an advertisement for Survivor Series War Games that would be taking place on November 30th, 2024 at time of recording. And we're going to be reviewing that one after it happens.
Yeah.
Afterwards, Triple H makes his way to the ring to make that huge announcement that they were talking about all night. And the big announcement being that the WWE Champion and the World Heavyweight Champion will face each other at Crown Jewel, along with the WWE Women's Champion and the WWE Women's World Champion will be facing each other at Crown Jewel. But no championships are on the line. Instead, what's on the line will be the Crown Jewel Championship for both the men's and women's division will be up for grabs.
Yeah.
Which I have a feeling they might start doing every year to make that championship actually worth something. Oh yeah, and for those who are wondering, Crown Jewel takes place on November 2nd, 2024 at time of recording. And you know us, we'll probably be reviewing that one too. So yeah, we got 2 shows, 2 current PLEs to review in November. One at the beginning and one at the end.
Yeah, we have another one to review this month as well.
Yeah. And then Gunther came out and said that it was a great honor for Triple H to raise his hand when he won the King of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. And Gunther said that Triple H will be doing the exact same thing at Crown Jewel and awarding him with the championship, with another championship belt. That one, the Crown Jewel title.
Yeah.
And then Gunther decided to do the one thing you probably shouldn't do. See, Goldberg was in attendance, also along with all the other legends, and he just started talking trash to Goldberg as well.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I told Sami Zayn that you were but that was a lie.
Yep. And he even went as far as telling Goldberg that, he went as far as telling Goldberg's son, I hope he was a better father than a wrestler. Oh, those are some fight words.
Because he's a one-trick pony. I'm like, dude, that one-trick pony will beat your ass. He's still jacked as fuck.
That's impressive for someone in their mid to late 50s.
Look at The Undertaker. He's still jacked as fuck, too. And The Rock and fucking Cena.
Yep.
And watch, Goldberg's gonna come back and face fucking Gunther.
And shortly afterwards, Goldberg actually went over the barricade, but was being held back by security. And then in the segment, Sami Zayn came out and attacked Gunther, promoting the world title match on Raw, which this coming Monday on Raw at time of recording, which we're not going to be reviewing, but I wouldn't be surprised if Gunther retains against Sami Zayn.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sami Zayn beats Gunther.
Yeah, I guess we'll see when we watch the review show for Raw. So yeah, that was a big announcement and the aftermath. To it. And then we've seen an advertisement for the Royal Rumble 2025 that's going to be held on February 1st, 2025. Which we'll be covering, and I think that'll be our first PLE or pay-per-view event that we're going to be reviewing next year. Current-wise. Yeah. At that time. Anyway, the next match was Rhea Ripley challenging Liv Morgan for the Women's World title, and Liv Morgan obviously was accompanied by Dominic Mysterio. And the stipulation for this match was that Dominic Mysterio was supposed to be locked inside a shark cage.
Yes, you said this triggered you.
Oh no, it wasn't the freaking shark cage that triggered me. I mean, I actually enjoyed that stipulation. I was laughing at Dominic's expense. What triggered me was their entrance. Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan arrived in a lowrider to the arena, and actually drove it out to the entrance ramp.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they did this to advertise, the new lowrider collector toy that was coming out, or collector vehicle toy that was coming out.
Lowrider.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it, but to me, I felt like I was seeing something else.
Eddie Guerrero.
Even Dominic made the lowrider bounce up and down, and all I could say here in my notes was Dominic Mysterio is no Eddie Guerrero. He's an Eddie Guerrero wannabe. As a matter of fact, Dominic will never be on Eddie Guerrero's level, which is 100% accurate. Fight me on that one. You can't. You can't because it's true. And anyway, Dominic Mysterio was locked in the... but then Rhea Ripley made her entrance, and Rhea Ripley was advertising the one new product that we all know you want.
Dirty Dom toilet paper.
Yes, it was toilet paper. It's toilet paper with Dominic Mysterio's face on it, which you could purchase on WWE Shop right now. And all I could think about is like, sorry, not interested. I don't want toilet paper with shit already on it. Am I right?
Well, of course you
do. But anyway, Dominic Mysterio was reluctantly got into the shark cage to get locked in it. Oh, and just to add insult to injury, Rhea Ripley got on the mic before the match started and was like, "Hey, I forgot to mention there's an extra clause for the stipulation. Hey, Dominic, you're afraid of heights? Lift the freaking shark cage up now." Oh yeah, and I'm guessing it was Rhea Ripley's birthday today, or during this event as well.
Yeah.
Just, for information out there, FYI, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Dominic was not only locked in the shark cage, but he was also suspended above the entranceway in the shark cage as well. Thus meaning he ain't going to be
they
a
also
factor.
referenced Paul Ellering as well when he was in a shark cage match.
Yeah. And then the match started with Rhea dominating freaking Morgan, including in the opening moments hitting a clothesline to Morgan. And then Rhea then hit Morgan with a fallaway slam, sending Morgan onto the outside of the ring. Shortly after the clothesline, it's like, mommy means business in this one. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Morgan was able to battle back on the outside when she drove Ripley into the steel steps, which then Rhea actually battled back and actually drove Morgan's head into the ring apron. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get back into control. Yeah, and then Rhea Ripley actually hit Morgan with a diving drop kick to the outside, followed by tossing Morgan into the barricade. After that, I mean, Ripley meant business. She wasn't going to take any BS.
Well, she hit the riptide on her on the outside as well.
Yep. But then afterwards, Morgan got into control by working on Rhea's injured knee on the outside. Back in the ring, Morgan kept the momentum with kicks to Ripley, followed by a drop kick. Yep. And then Morgan at one point applies a half Boston Crab onto Ripley.
Yeah.
And while this was going on, the crowd was actually chanting, "Dominic sucks." I'm like, that guy is a heat magnet.
Yeah.
And then after the Boston Crab, even though Liv Morgan got, broke the hold, she still continued working on Rhea Ripley's knee, trying to get her off of her vertical base. Because if Rhea Ripley can't use both of her legs, she ain't gonna be a threat.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the strategy Morgan was going for, which could work. You never know, right?
Yeah.
But then Rhea Ripley did battle back, though, shortly afterwards with 2 clotheslines and a Northern Light suplex pin attempt on Morgan for a 2 count. It's like Northern Light suplex pin attempt. Northern Light suplex pin. It's been a while since we've seen one of those. Yeah, but then freaking we get to the outside. Morgan goes outside where she continues to work on Ripley's knee by smashing into the ring apron and the ring post, by the way, causing Rhea Ripley's knee to get more damaged here. Yeah, and then on the outside, freaking Morgan threw Ripley into the barricade, not once, but twice. Also.
Yeah.
And at this point, And at this point, this match to me was becoming intriguing because I'm just like, how is this going to end? There's going to be what to me it was too close to call. Even though we wanted Rhea Ripley to win, it could have gone either way at this point, like convincing wise. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Rhea Ripley tried to fight back, but Morgan reversed Rhea's little momentum she was building up by kicking her in the back of the head on the ring apron, followed by a sunset powerbomb onto the barricade again.
Yeah.
And that looked like a nasty fall, really. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then back in the ring, Rhea Ripley was able to get on her feet back in the ring, but Rhea Ripley managed to get herself onto the middle rope and actually hit a code breaker from the middle rope onto Ripley.
Yep.
Which, that looked impressive. I'm not going to lie. That actually did look impressive. Right?
Yeah.
And then Liv was going for the Oblivion finisher, only to have it countered by Ripley. Right?
Yep.
And then and then shortly after that, Ripley went for the U. And Morgan countered that into a crucifix pin for a 2 count. Hey, no comment when I said Rhea Ripley tried the U.
Uh-huh.
You know I have to. You know I have to say that joke at least once.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
I just do it to be an asshole.
Yep.
Anyway, Morgan was sitting there, and afterwards Morgan was sitting there taunting Rhea Ripley. And you don't really do that because, it's like, that usually backfires, right?
Yep.
And then after a little bit of taunting or taunting Rhea Ripley with whatever she was saying, Morgan then slapped Rhea Ripley repeatedly. And then Morgan did the ultimate move. She tried to do the Three Amigos vertical suplexes made famous by Eddie Guerrero. Only for Rhea Ripley to reverse it on the third suplex attempt. And she actually and Ripley actually hit Morgan with a razor's edge.
Yeah.
Putting Morgan down once again. And it was at this point that Dominic managed to get the shark cage door open.
Yep.
Maybe picked the lock or something in storyline. We don't know what happened. We didn't see. Right? We just know mysteriously Dominic managed to get that shark cage door open. But shortly after that, Rhea Ripley actually hit a frog splash to Morgan for a 2 count. A lot of Eddie Guerrero references in this match alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but after the frog splash, Morgan freaking kicked out of a 2 count, and Rhea Ripley then locked her in the prism trap submission hold as well. So Morgan was stuck in this submission hold.
Yep.
Until freaking Rhea Ripley decided to let her out of it. And they went to the outside, and then Rhea Ripley then threw Morgan into the barricade twice, right in front of Dominic up there, who was still, at this point, in the shark cage. Right?
Yep.
And on the yeah, and then freaking it was also at this point where Ripley actually hit the Riptide onto Morgan onto the outside, thus assuring everything but a victory at this point because it was the outside. It wasn't falls count anywhere match. It was a regular match. I mean, if falls counted anywhere, if this was a falls count anywhere match, I believe Rhea Ripley would have had a victory right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then once freaking Ripley got Morgan back inside the ring, Dominic, on the other hand, fell out of the shark cage and was hanging there by the cage, by the ankle.
Did that remind you of anything?
What?
A Dominic Pinata.
Yes, that kind of looked like, ooh. I looked down like Dominic hanging there. Kind of looks like if someone was hitting him with a cane, that would look like a pinata getting hit.
Yep.
Rhea Ripley must have thought the same thing too. So instead of So instead of freaking, finishing off Morgan in the ring like you'd think she would have, she actually went onto the outside of the ring and took a kendo stick and pretty much said, "Happy birthday to me." And then she went over to where Dominic was dangling from the shark cage and just started beating him repeatedly with the kendo stick. Like some sort of fucked up piñata.
Yep.
Which I found entertaining and I was laughing at. And it was all fun and games. Until Raquel Rodriguez, of all people, came out to attack Ripley, preventing her from attacking Dominic even more. Thus, the referee saw that and ended the match, declaring Rhea Ripley the winner by disqualification.
Yeah, she was her friend at one point, and then she teamed up with Liv.
Yep.
And then she was saying at the end, "Oh, this is true now.
Yeah, but
this is a real thing."
Yep, but because the Women's World Championship or any championship cannot change hands under disqualification, Liv Morgan is still the Women's World Champion.
Well, technically they can. They just have a stipulation like they did before.
That ending was not in the stipulation for this match, so no, the title did not change hands on a DQ.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts of this Women's World Title match?
It was good.
I mean, I thought it served its purpose. It was almost, to me, it was almost the perfect, women's match here on this show. Too, except that interference kind of hurt it at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to set up Rhea Ripley to have a new feud for now. And they didn't want I guess they didn't want Liv Morgan to win. But they didn't want Liv Morgan to lose the championship either, which is why they came up with this creative DQ finish.
Yeah.
But either way, it was still funny to see Dominic get hit like a piñata.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, it gets a little bit of points for that, for making me laugh like that, despite the ending. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, Rhea Ripley may have won the match, but she didn't win the title. Yeah, and then we go back up to the skybox afterwards, where Cargill, Belair, and Naomi were, and they were talking about all the matches so far, going up to the main event, and then they're like, "Oh, what's that smell?" Apparently it was
Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green, that's who I'm thinking of. Apparently
Matt Cardona's wife.
Yeah, and apparently for this little bit of story, she smelled like a dumpster and said, "You all need to leave." And then she goes, "Fine, Piper, we're leaving." And Viper's like, "I'm staying." And that was it. This all stems from her losing a dumpster match on SmackDown.
Yep, to me.
Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, they actually went down. Okay. But then we go on to our main event, which was the Bloodline 2.0, which is your tribal chief, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu.
No, it's your tribal chief.
No, Solo Sikoa is your tribal chief, and they were taking on my tribal chief.
Solo Sikoa is your tribal chief.
No.
Yes.
No, they were taking on your tribal chief, Solo Sikoa.
No, yours.
And that team was facing my tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes.
I will not acknowledge anyone.
Yeah, you do. You acknowledge Solo.
No. We don't know you do.
Actually, no, you're right. You don't acknowledge Solo and you don't acknowledge Roman Reigns. You acknowledge Rico, the tribal chops.
No, I acknowledge Rikishi, the tribal cheeks.
Oh, yeah, and besides, anyone who still remembers Rico from way back 20 years ago, you're an OG.
20 plus.
Yep. Anyway, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu made their entrance to the ring first. You know, it was just, your basic regular standard entrance, yeah. But then a marching band surrounded the ring and started performing Cody Rhodes' theme around ringside, which also they played in unison with his theme that was playing in the arena when he made his entrance.
Yeah, and then the Philharmonic
performed Roman Reigns' theme song. So both Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns got a special entrance for this tag team match. But the big question is, can Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns coexist? Since the last time freaking these two were in a ring, they were facing each other. And that's when Rhodes won the championship from Reigns at WrestleMania, ending Reigns' 1,316-day reign.
Yeah.
Which, at the time, you were very happy about.
Yep.
Then you were like, yay, no more acknowledge me jokes. To this day, I'm still doing acknowledge me jokes.
Yep.
And you're like, son of a bitch. Am I right?
Yep.
And the match started with Cody Rhodes putting Jacob Fatu in a side headlock only to run.
Well, it was also Roman Reigns' first match since coming back from WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it's his first time facing Jacob Fatu.
Yep. Yeah, and then freaking Cody Rhodes started off with a side headlock on Jacob, only to run into Jacob from the ropes. Only to run into Jacobs from the rope after the side headlock, only for Jacob to no sell like Riptidz does on 2K.
Don't fuck yourself with that jump, bitch.
You know what's funny? I actually wrote that in my notes too.
Don't fuck yourself.
You know it's true, motherfucker.
Leave it alone, bitch.
Oh, I'll say it every time I see a spot like that just to annoy you. It's a running gag in this fucking series. It's a running gag in this series, you know that.
Yes, and I challenge you for your championship.
It's like, shit. Anyway, and it was shortly after that, it was shortly after that, freaking all four men got back in the ring to face off against each other once again. And then freaking Solo got the tag, and then shortly afterwards, when the Roman and Solo were back on the apron, Solo gets a tag in. And then Cody Rhodes very dramatically was like, nope, Solo, hold on a minute. Nope. It's like, nope, and he dramatically tags Reigns in. So yeah, Roman Reigns and Solo were the legal men at this point. Yeah, and then freaking Roman and freaking Solo were fighting, went back and forth, and then Roman went for a back body drop, but I was countered when Solo kicked him in the face, putting Reigns down. Of course, Reigns did manage to battle back and actually was in the corner. Put Solo in the corner, and he started hitting him with punches and shit. And then Roman then hit a back elbow to Solo's heel, followed by Roman dumping Solo to the outside of the ring. So yeah, Roman was in control early on. Yeah. Then Jacob got into the ring to distract Roman, which allowed Solo to take advantage and attack Roman from behind, thus giving the heels the advantage once again.
Yeah.
And I bet it was at this point you were happy because your tribal chief was in control.
Fuck you.
Sorry, I have to say it. Yeah, then freaking,
Bad bumper up your ass.
Yeah, then Jacob and Solo were both double teaming Roman in their corner into the ropes by stomping at him and choking Roman in the ropes and stuff like that. You know, the typical heel like double team moves. Yeah, and then Solo freaking punched Roman in the corner to the point where he was down, followed by a hip attack on Roman in the corner. There's that one hip attack again. We're going to be seeing plenty of those here. Or you're going to be hearing about plenty of those, I should say, here if you're watching this review.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jacob hit freaking Roman with shoulder tackles, propped up in the corner. Yeah, but then right when freaking Jacob went for a big splash, Roman actually managed to get out of the way, thus making Jacob eat nothing but turnbuckle. And Jacob fought too, man. I seen him wrestle in person. He's one crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we recently seen his brother also perform.
Yes, Journey fought too.
Yeah, we also seen his brother perform recently in person as well. Wouldn't surprise me if at some point he also is involved with WWE at some point.
Well, they're already in talks with him.
Yep. Anyway, Roman made the tag to Cody, and Cody just hit Jacob with a bunch of right hands, followed by a power slam. And then Cody was building momentum and actually hit Jacob with the punches and the bionic elbow made famous by his father, Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
And then shortly after that, Cody did also manage to hit freaking Jacob with the Cody cutters also.
Yep.
Only for Jacob to battle back shortly afterwards and actually hit a Samoan drop onto Cody as well. Sitting Cody down. And back on the outside, Cody and Solo go around the outside. And actually, Cody was on their outside. Solo wasn't even a legal participant at this point. And Solo slammed Cody onto the ring apron from the outside. So
Solo was, because he tagged in from Jacob, and then he did the whirling solo onto the ring apron.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was trying to get at. I was just talking so quickly because I didn't want to miss any big spot after big spot. You know what I'm saying?
Jacob fought too wasn't the one that was legal, but he stayed in the ring for a little bit to do more damage, and then he had to get out after he threw Cody into the outside.
It's like, yeah, I mean, I thought to myself, there's like any spots that I kind of messed up on or missed, of course you're going to correct me on it.
Yep.
So it's like, so either way, the review gets out anyway, the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Anyway, back in the ring now. After all the settle on the outside, Solo and Jacob continued to double team Cody Rhodes back and forth. And then Cody tried to battle back against Solo with right hands, only for Solo to prevent Cody from making the tag to Roman, as in
stepping on him.
By stepping on him, and when freaking Cody tried to make a tag, freaking Solo freaking had Cody Rhodes' legs held in place where he couldn't reach him. You know that spot, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Solo got Cody back in the corner and actually delivered a big splash on Cody in the corner once again.
Yep.
And Cody tried to battle back against Jacob, who was a legal man, only to get knocked back down for Jacob once again shortly afterwards. So it's like any momentum that Cody Rhodes tried to build got taken away within milliseconds.
Yeah, they also hit Roman off the ring.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. In a bit. Yeah, and then freaking at one point, Cody tried to battle back, and he tried to make that hot tag to Roman, only for Jacob to prevent it by biting Cody's hand, preventing the tag.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Jacob decided, hey, this is a high-stakes freaking tag match. Everyone wants just to see high-impact action. Screw it. You know what would be good for this match? A good old-fashioned double-shoulder nerve hold. Which is a wear-down move, and I say that with sarcasm. Right?
Yes.
Of course, Cody was able to reverse the nerve hold by freaking hitting a jawbreaker on Jacob, breaking the hold.
Yep.
But then freaking Jacob actually freaking got back up and actually reapplied that nerve hold once again.
Yeah, after he tagged in Solo.
Yep. Yeah, and then Solo freaking came in, hit some headbutts on Cody Rhodes here. And Jacob and Solo were both hit hip attacks on Cody Rhodes in the corner, one after the other. And I'm like, how many hip attacks in the corner have we seen this entire show? I'm thinking we've seen it 11 times already.
A lot.
Yeah. And then Jacob was like, you know what? I'm not even going to be original and perform something different. I'm going to apply the same freaking shoulder nerve hold on the Rhodes for a third time in this match. Swear to God, any freaking more freaking nerve holds like that's going to go into hip attack territory for this show. Am I right?
Yeah.
Of course, Cody Rhodes managed to fight off Jacob and Solo, and he tried to go for a hot tag to Roman, only for Jacob on the outside to knock Reigns off the apron, thus preventing the tag once again, like you were alluding to earlier. And I'm just like, oh God, is this gonna... I was thinking to myself, at some point Cody Rhodes is gonna make that tag and that whole arena is gonna be going crazy. Right?
Which pissed off Roman so much it made him cooperate with Cody even more.
Yep. Mind you, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are not the best of friends. They fought each other twice for that championship that Cody Rhodes has. So yeah, they ain't the best friends. They're like frenemies at this point, right?
Well, he faced them in multiple different matches as well over the year, going towards WrestleMania.
And then Solo hit another big splash in the corner on the Cody, followed by a clothesline for a 2 count. Then Solo and Jacob continued to work over Cody in the corner with kicks, sending him straight down again. Right?
Yep.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, if we see another freaking hip attack, I'm a freaking start going crazy like Riptides. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you were already crazy.
Jeez.
Then Jacob, but no, we didn't see another hip attack, thank God. Cody Rhodes was down on the mat. Jacob actually went to the top rope and actually attempted a Jeff Hardy style Swanton bomb on a Cody, only for Cody to reverse it by getting his knees up.
Yep.
And I bet somewhere Jeff Hardy was watching this main event, probably thinking to himself, been there, done that, and it sucks when that happens. Right?
Yep.
Then following that, Cody Rhodes actually managed to make the hot tag to Roman, who hit Solo with a series of clotheslines. I think he also dumped Jacob over the top rope, and the audience, the fans went crazy here. Right?
Yeah, because after that, Cody Rhodes was attacking Jacob from outside the ring.
Yep.
Hit him with the crossroads. He got up.
Yeah.
Freaking, he got thrown into the the timekeepers.
Yep.
Hit the barricade. Then Jacob Fatu was running towards the barricade.
Yeah.
And fucking still went through it. And still got his ass back up. And throwing fucking chairs.
Yeah. But we're going to get to all of that in a minute. You kind of jumping ahead because I'm talking about the stuff that happened in the ring between Solo and Roman here before we get to that part. But we'll get to it more in detail when we get to that part here in a little bit. It's like Roman started pummeling Solo with left and rights. And Roman also attempted to go for a Superman punch to Solo, only for Solo to reverse it to use the Samoan Spike. Because he caught Roman coming in. He was trying to use his finisher, the Samoan Spike, which is a nod to the late Umaga. Or Umanga, if you're a William Regal fan.
Umanga!
Yep. But Roman reversed the Samoan spike into a crucifix pin for a 2, followed by a Superman punch for 2. So I'm like, oh, jeez, this match was going back and forth. And while Roman
into the spear.
Or he attempted the spear for a 2 count. And then he attempted the spear, that didn't work. It was at this point the crowd started chanting, "Fuck you, Solo."
Fuck you, Solo.
And while you were watching
Fuck you, Solo.
And while you were freaking watching at home, you were chanting to yourself, "I acknowledge Solo."
No, that was you. You're like, I acknowledge Solo.
See, you just admitted it.
No, it was you, you stupid son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then Roman did, and while the fans were chanting that, Roman did attempt the spear at this point. Of course, it was countered by Jacob, who put a sleeper hold on Roman from the apron. Followed by Jacob hitting followed by Jacob in the ring. He actually hit a super kick on the Roman. Followed by a pair of big splashes from the top rope from both Jacob and Solo. From Jacob and Solo.
Well,
and Solo went for the pin for
his jumping moonsault.
Or jumping moonsault.
And Solo did the Uso splash.
Or the big splash from Uso. Jacob did the moonsault. That's what I meant to say. And Solo went for the pin only for Cody Rhodes to break it up, saving the match for he and Roman here. And on the outside of the ring, Jacob tried to take control over Cody Rhodes. And freaking Jacob, and then in the process, Jacob Fatu ran at Cody Rhodes, who just sidestepped out of the way, sending Jacob Fatu to crash into the timekeeper area.
He was attacked, like I said, he was attacking him from outside. He went to near the crossroads. He hit that. Jacob Fatu got up. Jacob Fatu threw him into the timekeeper area. He hit the barricade. Jacob Fatu ran to do a hip attack. He got sidestepped, hit the barricade, got back up, threw fucking chairs.
Yes. Yeah, Jacob went crashing into the timekeeper area, and he just got right back up, selling it like you do on 2K.
Go fuck yourself. I challenge you for your title. 1v1 wrestling now.
Salt.
I'll show you no selling.
I can't help myself sometimes. But anyway, Cody then tried to battle back after Jacob started swinging chairs around, throwing chairs everywhere, getting up off the floor. And then Cody Rhodes then managed to hit a crossroads on Jacob onto the outside, followed with Cody hitting hitting a couple kicks on Jacob. And then Cody Rhodes then propped Jacob on the announcer's table, which then Cody promptly went up to the top rope and performed a big splash onto Jacob Fatu through the announcer's table.
Well, he went out, he looked back up, he's like, fuck it, I'm going to do what Jacob did. He went all the way to the top rope, went all the way to the fucking ring, the turnbuckles.
Yep.
And fucking saluted Roman, saying that you got and then fucking jumped and put him right through the fucking announce table.
Yep. And of course, after all this happened, back in the ring, Roman and Solo kept hitting each other back and forth in the head with headbutts and punches, which after that, Roman gained the upper hand, and he actually managed to hit a Superman punch on a Solo, thus having both men knocked down. And then the Tonga brothers interfered, distracting Reigns, enabling Solo to hit his own spear on Reigns, followed by a 2 count. And at this point, you're like, damn it.
No, that was you.
No, that was you.
Roman was going for this spear because he was doing his ooh-wah, whatever the fuck he does.
His taunt. Right.
And then Tongaloa and Tomatonga came out, distracted him, so he went towards the freaking, hung him up on the top rope.
Yep. Yeah, and then
right when he turned around, Solo hit him with the spear for a 2 count.
Yeah, and then after that 2 count, freaking Solo actually looked out to the outside of the ring while he was in the ring, and he noticed somebody wearing a hoodie and a bandana. Now we didn't know, and whoever it was distracted the Tonga brothers as well, and Sosgo, and this guy wearing the hoodie and the bandana combo attacked the Tonga brothers on the outside with a pair of super kicks. And said mystery person revealed himself to be Jimmy Uso returning.
But they are not the ones.
Sure, yep. So, with that being said, I guess Jimmy Uso is now back to being a face.
Yep.
Pretty much doing the same thing he did to Jey Uso last year. With the same interference spot, basically. Same look.
Yep.
Yeah, and then this distracted Solo long enough to where it gave Roman Reigns the opportunity to hit Solo Sikoa with the spear and get the 3 count. Which, after the match, the winners of this match obviously were Roman Reigns and WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. And then after the match, Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso embraced, thus telling everyone their alliance is back together again. Right?
Yeah.
And then when Reigns and Jimmy Uso were leaving the ring, Cody Rhodes was then attacked once again by Solo and the Tonga brothers, but then Uso and Reigns actually returned back to the ring after Uso told Reigns, "You gotta do the right thing. You have to do the right thing now." Right?
Yep.
So yeah, Reigns and Jimmy Uso attacked the Tonga brothers and Solo Sikoa to prevent him from doing any more further damage to Rhodes here. And the show, and freaking Reigns then freaking took the WWE Championship belt from Cody Rhodes, holding it in his hand one more time, and then just handed it back.
He picked up
the championship
title from the ring,
and then
he didn't take it. He picked it up, looked at it, and then handed it over.
Yes. Yeah, he handed it over to Rhodes, probably symbolizing that there's a possible third battle coming between the two.
And then the wannabe final boss's music hits.
Yep, and then the final boss, your boy The Rock, actually made an appearance to end the show. And I'm just like, okay, they're going to be teasing is this a teaser? Is they going to tease another Rhodes Roman Reigns match? How is The Rock going to get involved? We don't know, and I'm pretty sure that may set up the main event for WrestleMania 41.
Well, technically, it's setting up for tribal warfare between 3 factions of the bloodline, because he was signifying 3 and then did the cut.
Yep. So anyway, your thoughts on this tag team main event?
It was good.
Yep, it was good. I thought it was a good way to end the show. I mean, to me, I think the Hell in a Cell between Punk and McIntyre should have main evented, but with The Rock making an appearance and everything that happened after the match, I guess it makes sense that they put the tag match as the main event.
Yeah.
So now that we've reviewed all these matches on this card, it's time to go to our favorite part of every review, and that's our match ratings. So, opening contest, CM Punk defeating Drew McIntyre in that brutal Hell in a Cell match. I give that one 5 out of 5. There's no doubt. What about you?
10.
You're like 10 out of 10 or 10 out of 5. It's whatever. It's pretty much on the same pattern as mine. And then Nia Jax defeating Bayley to retain the women's to retain the women's championship. It was passable, but I give that one 3 out of 5.
3.5.
Yeah, you enjoyed that match slightly more than I did. It's like Damian Priest defeating Finn Balor. I give that one 3. It's like 3.5 out of 5.
4.
Yeah, I only gave it 3.5 out of 5 because of the interference, but then again, it's a Judgment Day match, so what did I really expect going into this?
Yep.
It's like Rhea Ripley defeating Women's World Champion Liv Morgan by disqualification. I was originally going to give this match 4 out of 5, only because of the match itself and the hijinks with Dominic, but because of the interference and the DQ finish, it kind of knocked it down a point, in my opinion, so I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
3.
I enjoy it a little bit more only because we got to see Mysterio used as a piñata.
That's what made it a 3. It was going to be a 3.5. But with the interference, it marked it down a half.
And the main event being Roman Reigns and WWE Champion Cody Rhodes defeating Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu in that tag team main event. I give it 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, I give it 4.5 out of 5. So basically, a little bit of the same score here. So my final grade for Hell in a Cell 2024. What the hell am I thinking about? I'm having flashbacks to another pay-per-view. My final grade for Bad Blood 2024 is a B. Like a high, strong B.
Same.
Now, if I was going to recommend only one match from this show to watch back, it would be the Hell in a Cell match between Punk and McIntyre, if you're only going to watch one match from this show. So yeah, that's our thoughts on the latest WWE PLE or pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, Bad Blood.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah, I still call it pay-per-view because despite it saying it's a premium live event, you're still paying monthly or yearly for Peacock to watch it.
Yeah.
So there you go. So yeah, next time on our little wrestling podcast review series here will be Wednesday, and in that particular review, like we already stated this past week, we will be reviewing the 1998 Unforgiven event. So until then, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Bye.